It's draft day! And if you're listening to the Dynasty Brews podcast, streaming live from Facebook, Twitter, and Belly Up TV on Saturday 9 p.m. or 9 a.m. So you'll be getting this a little bit late, but we are doing our draft day reactions. It is the middle of the first round. We are currently at pick 15 for the Houston Texans. The pick is in, and it is safety Kyle Hamilton out of Notre Dame.
For the Ravens, right?
Oh, for the Ravens. I'm sorry.
Yep, you're good.
No, is that the Ravens or is that?
Yeah, Hamilton
Okay.
Yeah, the Texans pick is in. Looks like they're running behind. The NFL Network is got to make it a show, right?
Yeah, I guess so. You're right. All right, so I'm sorry. I apologize. It's the Ravens going with Kyle Hamilton. Obviously, that's not a fantasy relevant pick unless you are talking about IDP leagues, which I think, Ravens getting a safety, does that, say that maybe they're done with kind of like their guys with Elliott and Clark? And I mean, obviously you're getting the best player available, and I thought he was going to slide, but I didn't.
Saying the Ravens have traded back into the first up to pick 23 with the Cardinals.
Man, I am really far behind on this one then.
No, you're right. No, I got it in my other ear. You can't tell, but I'm listening to it in my right ear because I'm a nerd. Hence, I write for Dynasty Nerds.
You're totally good. You're totally good. You are our analyst today. Then, it does say that. So they got traded. He got traded back. Why is he holding up a?
Ravens have traded back up to pick 23.
Oh, okay.
They're going to make 2 picks tonight. It looks like.
Gotcha. So Kyle Hamilton is. See, you got me all mixed up here. I'm thinking the Cardinals trade up to get Kyle Hamilton.
Kenny Pickett's in Carolina. Where are you at?
Malik Willis to Seattle, if only, and maybe in another universe, in the multiverse, he somehow got picked in Seattle in one of them. But anyways, Justin, let's get down to it. Let's not keep the people waiting. What has been your biggest surprise pick so far?
Stingy was a surprise pick to me. I thought Sauce was a little bit better of a prospect, but Stingy going at the top of the draft was extremely odd to me, but we're here for fantasy. I gotta be honest, I would have thought that we would have seen a quarterback go. Some people were talking 5. I only have 2 going in the first with Pickett and Willis, but I don't know. I will say, and I want credit for this if it happens. The Ravens trading back up is a little odd to me. Maybe they want a receiver, but that Lamar situation keeps getting weirder and weirder, man. Something to watch throughout the draft if they take a backup. Maybe not in round 1, but.
Yeah, you'll get credit for that, but I highly doubt it's going to happen.
Marquise Goodwin was shipped off to the Arizona Cardinals. That's part of the trade. Hollywood is a Cardinal.
They really went deep into that one.
So let's break this down. I mean, that is a huge. If you own Hollywood, I was all over Hollywood last offseason. So I'm happy right now. We're going from one of the least pass-heavy offenses to now the pass-heaviest offense in the league.
Well, they've been talking for a while about getting somebody in there, especially now that Hopkins is starting to get an injury history about him. People have been like, what's the next step now that Kirk's gone? Who are we going to bring in? And now you get Marquise Brown bringing in there. That's big. I like that. I like that a lot.
I'm still buying Hopkins. Hopkins had one season with injuries. He's still a beast. If you're contending, I'm all in on Hopkins. But now I have Hollywood, and I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be out on Nuke. I'm just saying what the narrative is. The narrative is he's getting older and he's starting to get an injury history.
I know,
to him.
We should be taking advantage of that narrative for sure.
Oh, 100%. And you know what? A lot of people, unfortunately, sometimes redraft like Dynasty. And for those people, you really take advantage of that. And you say, yeah, I'll go all in on Nuke Hopkins for at least 1 year. Hell yeah.
I think he's gonna age better than Julio has. I think we're gonna see something. I think he probably, he could be like Larry Fitz, maybe not as long, but he could play for like 2 or 3 more years at a high level still. Especially if they move him into the slot with Hollywood coming in, but because Hollywood's more of a beta, but
Well, so here's my thing. I liked when the Ravens started moving Hollywood around because when they were using him predominantly as a long ball threat, sure he would break off those great games, but it was kind of like the whole Robbie Anderson thing. When you start moving him around and putting him in the slot and using him more often, getting more targets to him, he becomes more of an efficient wide receiver and you get more value out of him, obviously, in fantasy. So when I look at the Cardinals, I look at somebody like Hollywood Brown, I'm going like, throw him like you did Christian Kirk. And just with that, you have more of a talent to take away from Nuke Hopkins. Like people have to like legitimately look at another talent on the field who was a number one, whether we call him a beta or not. He was a legit number one with the Ravens. So I'm all in on getting both of those guys. And
Yeah.
I mean, Marquise Brown has been one of those guys that for a couple years now has been really undervalued as a number one. And now he's a number one B. But when you look at the number one Bs out there like Thielen, fucking Marquise Brown, he's right up there. I would take that. I would take that all day long. But let's get into some other picks. One pick that I want to talk to you about. Let's talk about the first real relevant one. Evan Neal to the Giants. You're a big Saquon Barkley guy. I've been talking all year long about how they need to get somebody in there to up this offensive line. This offensive line needs to get good for me to ever want to buy into Saquon again. Going out, getting yourself a left tackle. Daniel Jones, they have officially said, we're not going to throw you a fifth-year option bone. You either prove it this year or you're pretty much gone next year. Where are you at with this Giants offense after this move? Do you like Saquon Barkley even more? Are you willing to take a shot on Kenny Golladay?
I've been all in on Galladay. I'm actually all in on this offense for value purposes. Galladay is
Okay.
not washed. I think Galladay's good. I think he's going to be a really good receiver for them. I think he's. I overpaid for him last offseason. I paid market price last year, but all in on Galladay. The problem with Saquon, like I'm in on Saquon. I like Saquon a lot. It's just I can't seem to get my hands on him. The cost is just I don't for a back that's had as many issues as he's had. I just feel like his price hasn't adjusted, and I'm still not willing to pay 2 or 3 firsts. As much as I believe him, like if you have him, don't sell him. But kind of talking out both sides of my mouth a little bit. But
Both sides of your neck.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, so that's interesting that you're having trouble acquiring him. I mean, what gives you what makes you think that like it's that way? I mean, especially after the atrocious year that he had last year, he's coming off
people,
the ACL surgery prior. This is they didn't. I don't think they really had serious plans of signing him if he doesn't do well this year. What do you see in this Saquon Barkley that you want to really dive into and go, all right, give me all of Saquon Barkley's, all of your
yeah,
Saquon Barkley shares?
it's. I think Barkley has been a. I think Barkley similar to Daniel Jones in this whole offense. I mean, he had a season with Jason Garrett who couldn't coach his way out of Dallas. His job in Dallas numerous times was to not crash the Ferrari, but he'd end up crashing the Ferrari just in the playoff games. Tony Romo probably would have won a Super Bowl if he had any other coach but Jason Garrett. To be honest, he's probably one of the most underrated quarterbacks I've ever watched. But so he had a season of that, and then the season before that, he was ruined by I can't remember who it was. I mean, there was Joe. I mean, Joe Judge was there obviously recently, but even before Judge, who drafted him? Drawing a blank on the coach's name.
Whoa, oh, was it Wade?
I can't remember. All I know is it wasn't Wade, but they've just been a victim of poor coaching. And Dable comes in. Dable has historically not been a great offensive coordinator outside of Buffalo, but one thing that Dable has consistently done is produced 1,000-yard plus rushers. Jamal Charles had a great season under Dable. Reggie Bush had a career year under Dable. Peyton Hillis had the one-hit wonder under Dable. I just think that they're going to lean on the running back position more so than the quarterback, and then you're going to get probably Galladay eating up most of the targets in that offense due to a lack of weapons next to him. So It's not as if I project this offense to be historic, but I expect him to be productive for fantasy purposes, and especially Saquon. I could see him breaking 1,200 yards and probably getting about 500 to 600 yards out of the backfield in the receiving work.
And it was Wade Phillips that was before Garrett. So I wonder, I can't remember what
Wade Phillips
his offensive coordinator was.
for the Giants.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was referring to Tony Romo. Your Tony Romo quote.
Oh,
We
I
were
was
talking about
talking
Tony
about
Romo.
I was talking before Joe Judge and the Giants coaches. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, you're good. Was it McAdoo?
No, it was after McAdoo.
It was after
Uh,
McAdoo. Okay.
it was. Oh man, it was. I'm sorry. Now I need to find out.
No, it's all good. I'm looking it up as well.
Pat Shermer. Pat Shermer.
Oh,
Terrible.
that's right. The Shermanator.
Just awful. I mean, just like the worst coaching staffs you could hire. And what's funny is like growing up as a kid, that the Giants were like one of the most stable organizations in the NFL.
Oh yeah, back when Belichick had it, or not Belichick, Parcells.
Parcells was there, and then after Parcells, you had Coughlin there for a
Coughlin.
while.
Yep.
Steelers fans want to bash Tomlin, but man, don't let Tomlin's. I don't want to know how bad the Steelers would be without Mike Tomlin, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, and it's crazy. Shermer is still, out there as a offensive coordinator. He's currently the coordinator of the Broncos, and you just wonder like why people want to continue to bring these guys in, because you're just like, it doesn't work. It hasn't worked anywhere else. Like, why would you think you're going to bring him in and it's going to work? But let's keep rolling down the line of these draft picks. A real surprising one might have come in the form of Drake London to Atlanta, kind of setting up an offense that could be really, really explosive in a year when they maybe bring on like a Bryce Young or a CJ Stroud. This year, I wouldn't mind getting Mariota as a best ball guy. I think that could be something that could be worth something, because when you look at a Drake London and Kyle Pitts, two big body, let's face it, big body receivers. I mean, we want to call Kyle Pitts a tight end. He doesn't block nearly as much as a tight end should, and he's more on the perimeter anyways. So when we really look at this, you got two guys that you got to worry about in the red zone that are both like 6'5". I think Drake London tallied in at about like 6'4", 6'5". I know Kyle Pitts is like 6'5". This is something that could be really worth it as a kind of like under the wire move. What do you think about this?
Who are they trading for quarterback? I mean, I don't trust Mariota to get them the ball at all. I mean, Mariota.
I mean, he is a quarterback, and he was drafted pretty high at one point.
Yeah, just so we're on the same page, sources are telling me that Tim Tebow was also a quarterback. Does not mean the name does not make you it. I've watched enough of Mariota in my life to just I mean, in all honesty, they need a quarterback. I mean, they might, if they trade for Baker, listen, still take London where you had him before the draft. I'm not a big fan of this whole draft day reaction for fantasy, because the best players are still going to rise. I am a fan of London. I think that Pitts is going to work. I think that if you're drafting them in a win now mode, I hope you're drafting for depth. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, that's 100% right. I mean, at this point, I think that dynasty-wise, Drake London carries value. And I even think this year he'll carry some value. I mean, they're going to have to score. There's no way that they're going to be shut out 17 games this year. They're going to score at some point.
I mean, do you remember, I was telling my friends, when the Saints traded up, do you remember, the they have to score mantra doesn't quite work? I remember watching Derek Carr with Dennis Allen that first go around in Oakland. And I mean, the they have to score thing didn't really apply. They don't necessarily have to score.
Well, I guess you got me there, because we can't forget that Kyle Pitts only scored 2 touchdowns last year, and his first
But
and
the
only
savior Matt,
touchdown in the States came in the Pro Bowl. So, so as much as we want to think,
that
like you
poor guy
said,
just
they have to score.
that dude must hate America. What a jerk.
That was the pitch for Atlanta to move to London. Kyle Pitts only scores in London, so
All
if you
right,
want
get
him to
out of here.
score 8 times out of the year,
You don't even have kids. Get out of here. That's a me joke. That's my job. We're going to have a new host next week. I make the dad jokes. You're the host.
Sounds good to me. I'm just getting my dad jokes going for 5 years down the line when I actually have kids, so I'm already warmed up, man. I'm gonna be like,
Oh, yeah.
You don't even know. I was learning from the best over here.
I'm happy the best at something. My wife would disagree.
Well, they are the best audience, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh man. So we just had a couple of good guys go off the board. Let's just run down the list. Obviously, Deebo Samuel is in San Francisco still. Garrett Wilson was picked by the Jets. And then we had Olave picked by the Saints, who moved up to get that pick from the Washington Commanders. Those two picks.
I'm all in on the Jets. As a Bills fan, it pains me. It pains me. The Jets, the last 2 seasons, you can't tell tonight, but I love their GM. Has killed it the last 2 years, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, now they just need to get serious on the coaching aspect. As far as their offense goes, Joe Douglas has made moves. He has 2 tackles, Becton and Fant. He has Laken Tomlinson. He has Elijah Vera Tucker. I don't know who their center is right now. I'm sorry about that. But, when you have Elijah Moore and then you have Garrett Wilson on the other side, you have
Davis.
And you have Corey Davis. Yeah, you can't discount
by
that.
The way,
Corey Davis.
Make offers for Davis tonight. He's forgotten about, but this benefits Davis more than people want to know.
You know what the thing is with that is Corey Davis will still be there in the 15th round of this year's draft for your startups. So that's a great thing to bring up. Go and draft him.
Yeah.
Go and draft him.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw this question.
Don't draft him be your 1, but absolutely draft him. I mean,
could you imagine 0 receiver all the way to the 15th round? I am going in with Corey Davis, Rashad Bateman, and somebody else.
I think we interacted a little bit on this on Twitter, or at least I think you liked it. Let's talk about this. We're sitting here. Oh, wow. AJ Brown is a Philadelphia Eagle.
And news have been broken. Wow. That is big.
That's insane.
Yeah. Holy shnikes.
What a waste of I'm out on AJ Brown. I hate Jalen Hurts. I think he's the most overpriced asset in Dynasty.
Incredibly overpriced. What do you think this does? Feelings aside, what do you think this does, thinking from the fantasy community aspect, to AJ Brown's value? Does it increase it? Does it decrease it? Think about it this way. He was in an offense that didn't throw as much, and now he's going to another offense that doesn't throw nearly as much.
What are we doing? Why would you? I'm also hearing he signed a 4-year, $100 million extension in Philadelphia. So I'm out. First off, I'm going to answer your question in 1 second. I'm out on the Titans. I'm out on Henry. Get me out of this. Thankfully, I don't own him in a lot of places.
Tennessee's going to draft a receiver right now.
They just took Treylon Burks, who I think is the most overpriced receiver in this draft to begin with. This is just what a dumpster fire for Tennessee. If you're a Titans fan, please go drink a beer for me. I'm sorry. This is a terrible night for you. It's like watching Draft Day. We're at the end, the worst line of the movie. We had a good day. No, they're gonna come out and say we had a bad day. You just traded your best proven asset for Traylon Burks, who knows where this is gonna be. And I think they got like a 4th round pick. Good job.
They got a third. They got a third. But honestly, that just. And here's where I look at this and I go, San Francisco is just getting buried more and more because now you've got A.J. Brown going and, like you said, making $25 million a year. And he went for a first and a third. The 49ers were trying to get 2 first-round picks for Deebo Samuel. That's not going to happen now. Yeah. That's not going to happen at all. They're going to be stuck with a wide receiver that they can't sign.
Well, I'm hearing the Jets. I read a report before we're getting on that the Jets turned down the San Francisco trade offer. It wasn't the other way around.
Well, yeah, because they wanted to swindle them and get 2 first-round picks. They wanted to get this year's and next year's.
Yeah. Just oh my gosh. I can't believe that they just traded AJ Brown. Like, I don't even have that many shares of AJ Brown, but that just boggles my mind. I'm out on AJ Brown. I think long term this should hurt his price. I mean, I'm a big fan of. I'm actually like I felt like Devontae Smith was a screaming buy. Now I'm going to go try and buy him more now, not for production this year because I just think that I think that they're getting all these weapons, and what the Eagles are saying is, all right, Jalen, here we just put our chips on the table. If you cannot hit these people with your passes, you ain't it. Yeah. So AJ Brown will be a value next offseason when we see that halfway through the season, the Minshew Mania. Is Minshew Mania still there?
Yeah, Minshew Mania.
I feel like we're going to end up seeing Hurts getting benched if he can't hit these receivers.
I wouldn't be surprised. I actually totally agree with you on that aspect. I think that this is the do or die season for Jalen Hurts. I mean, he obviously continues to have the starting job because he got to the playoffs last year while really not winning against anybody who had a significant record. But at the end of the day, you know, this is a team that might be looking towards next year for their quarterback.
Absolutely.
And with the Commanders getting better, you know, the Giants, obviously they're probably going to be still at the bottom. But, you know, you're looking at this and you're like, all right, like you said, we're giving you all the opportunities to make something happen, Jalen. And if you don't, we're not going to look bad because we gave you a chance. So I don't get it. I mean, in Traylon Burks, you know, what, like you said, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing exchanging Traylon Burks for AJ Brown? Like, it doesn't make sense. You know, here's a screaming buy for you. Des Fitzpatrick. That's a screaming buy because you could get him for like a 3rd-round pick, maybe not even, maybe like a 4th-round pick.
But you could turn that 3rd-round pick maybe in to AJ Brown if you talk to the Tennessee Titans.
Oh yeah. Oh my God.
These GMs, I swear to gosh, they're turning into dynasty managers. They're turning into the dude that you bring, the dude you bring into your league, and you're like, hey, they're turning into the Jaguars from draft day. That's what GMs are doing.
Hey, don't put that on them. Don't put that evil on them. Remember, the Jaguars are still the Jaguars from draft day.
If you give up pick 19, the pick is in. At what point over this weekend will we see the Magic Man Jordan Love traded? I tweeted about this. I think that he very easily could be traded. And I don't see why not to the Falcons, actually. There's no way. Other than trading away A.J. Brown, like the next worst move this offseason is the Atlanta Falcons having an established quarterback and then finding a way to Washington Redskins the situation and then piss him off enough to make him leave. I mean, Atlanta is now Washington. They're the same thing to me.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah.
You saw my response to your tweet, right?
What'd you say?
My response to your tweet was, I would have been a lot more excited about buying Jordan Love if I hadn't seen Jordan Love play.
He actually didn't look that bad to me. He really
He
didn't.
was terrible.
Are you talking about the preseason game or the regular season game?
The regular season game.
Regular
When it
season game.
matters, yeah, he was pretty
Now, it
terrible.
does matter, but I'd also like to remind you that that was also the stretch for about 8 weeks where Kansas City was on a tear.
I'd like to remind you that he had Devontae Adams, Mr.
And
Unguardable,
he's
on
not
his team,
unguardable.
and he could not get. He is unguardable compared to the. Who was going to guard him on Kansas City? Chardavius Ward? Yeah.
Yes. Nope.
No.
Everyone. I'm
No.
telling you, we're talking about elite Kansas City defense here.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, dude. What we're seeing here is that none of these quarterbacks, we're getting into Jordan Love pick territory. Instead of spending your first round pick on these guys, someone's going to get like, well, why don't we just try and take a reclamation project of Jordan Love? This screams Carolina to me, to be perfectly honest. Jordan Love screams Carolina to me.
Yeah. You sure it doesn't scream Jimmy Garoppolo? I think it screams Jimmy Garoppolo a little bit more than
No,
Jordan Love.
I don't buy that. I think Jimmy Garoppolo's going to get cut. And I think he's gonna get cut over the weekend when we're grilling out in September. And I think he's going to be a backup this season because he's going to be a late addition to a team.
You know what I think? I think they're not going to cut him because they know he'll go to Seattle.
I don't. No, he won't go to Seattle.
He would totally go to Seattle. Why wouldn't he go to Seattle? Why wouldn't he go to the first team that would want him?
Aaron Andrews will not go to Seattle.
Every time the 49ers cut somebody of value, Seattle is right there saying, hey, you want to come share your secrets?
And it's worked so well for them the last 4 years.
Unfortunately, I don't want to share the record that Seattle has over San Francisco. It's not very good. But anyways, so
I mean, do you think Jordan Love gets traded? Because I think he does. I think that we're getting into this territory where these teams obviously.
I mean, I think he does get traded, but I don't think he's going to make any impact where he gets traded.
Oh, he's gonna be the next Mahomes.
Oh yeah, that's what they were feeding us. The Utah State kid. Oh yeah, he just throws the ball like Mahomes. Like he's just ridiculous, like Mahomes. I love that line because ever since that draft, there has always been somebody who's gonna be like Mahomes.
Oh,
Like
it's every season. We do this every year. It's
yeah,
like, oh, this dude's the next Deebo Samuel. It's like, dude, just stop. I'll be perfectly blunt. I hate player comps so much. It's like my least favorite thing. Like, I know I can't pick it to like two quarterbacks, but he's his own dude. Like, he's as fast as Wentz. He's not Wentz though. Like he brings different things to the table.
I just like that you say as fast as Wentz, as if Wentz is really that fast.
When Wentz was coming out, dude, Wentz was actually more mobile than people thought.
Yeah. You just don't
that
see it too much.
Until he tore the ACL, he actually had decent rushing production, like 30 yards a game, which is, hey, those are 3 points. So,
Yeah.
that's like if you score 2 touchdowns, it almost, and he also scored rushing touchdowns too. But
With how tall he is, I'm surprised they don't try and like just run him up the middle more often, just like a
can't do
QB
it
dive for a
anymore
touchdown.
you can't do it anymore because he's like no Sean Marino. He's made of glass.
And that is very true. He does not hold up too well. Let's get on to this one.
Pittsburgh just traded up to 20. Is this Willis?
Pittsburgh didn't trade up to 20. They already had 20.
They traded with themselves up to 20.
Wow, they really must want Malik Willis. They traded with themselves. Can you imagine that bargaining room? Oh man. What Mike Tomlin's on the other side. What's it gonna take to get into that 20 pick?
All your picks. All your picks done.
Sucker.
You're one for the next 3 years.
Yeah, this is it. This has got to be it, right? I mean, this is
I don't think any quarterbacks are getting taken, and I'm gonna lose. I'm gonna have to buy my friend lunch. I didn't go full blownsies and say 5, but I thought 2 would go tonight, and I feel like a jackass.
so can I say this? How lucky are the Steelers? The two players in the past 2 years that they've wanted have fallen to them when easily these two players could have been taken earlier. They've fallen to a playoff team. Najee Harris fell right into their laps. Now Malik Willis has fallen right. If they don't take Malik Willis here,
It's
then
Kenny Pickett. I have to imagine it's gonna be
so that's an interesting thing because I heard that the front office wants Pickett, but Tomlin wants
Tomlin wants.
Willis. So we're gonna
I
find out who wins out.
I have to believe it's been Willis though. They've been linked to Willis for like 3 years. I've been reading about like even 3 years ago, he was kind of on my radar because I had read something about Willis in Pittsburgh, and then last year it was like a lot of mocks were talking about Pittsburgh.
Can you imagine looking at Malik Willis's Auburn tape and going, "Yeah, that's going to be the future quarterback of my
He's the dude. Hey,
franchise"?
he's the future. When you watch Big Ben, he has a stronger arm than Big Ben.
Yeah, well, too bad Big Ben's been like dull armed for the past like 3 years.
Oh, I mean, my Devi team wants Willis, but my heart wants Pickett. I don't know.
You should go with your Devi team because your Devi team has a direct line to your pocket.
This is true.
Actually, you know what?
What do you think of my Devi team? Let's talk about that.
Oh, your Devi team looks great now that I've made additions of McLaren and Hill.
That is true, but that was a good trade for you, though. I feel like I overpaid a little bit, but not that much. I feel like it was really fair. But
I
here's
cut
this.
you a deal by giving you your second back.
Yes, you did.
Yeah,
Here's the pick. The pick is in. Are you driving with me?
let's do it. Let's do
All
it.
right,
What is it?
here
You
we
got
go.
it. You're the insider.
Roger Goodell's at the podium. He's talking about nothing, so I'm just gonna air it up here. So I'm gonna guess it's gonna be Malik Willis. What's your final pick?
It's definitely Malik Willis. Oh my God, they got Franco Harris up there?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I also am disappointed, by the way, as I fill up airtime for this. I'm disappointed. 2 years ago, before COVID, they were supposed to be riding these players up via boats, and so I thought they would do the same thing, and it is less entertaining. I see no boats.
Yeah.
No
You know what?
boats and hoes, quote Step Brothers.
Boats and hoes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Prestige worldwide, wide.
Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett's the guy.
Oh, no way. I can't believe it until I see it on the selection board.
I like this pick a lot. This is a great pick.
Wow. There it is. So now here comes the question. Is he day one relevant?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Trubisky is nothing.
I told you I've been struggling at who I have my QB1. I view them both. I'm a fan of both. I actually think now that Willis will get drafted, I could see Seattle trading back up here,
I see that.
taking Malik Willis.
How about this one? How about this one? Do you think Tampa goes for it?
No,
I mean, do you really think they have something in Kyle Trask? Is Kyle Trask really the future after Brady is?
Kyle Trask is the future backup for the foreseeable future. I think they're going to wait till next year.
Is he fighting for that spot with Blaine Gabbert? That future?
I've been told by Bruce Arians that Blaine Gabbert's the future of the position, reliably.
Yeah. I mean, I've been believing that since he was drafted by the 49ers. I mean, I was all in on him being my backup.
I still cannot believe the Steelers just got whoever they want their pick of the litter at quarterback.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. But you know what? Good on them because Kenny Pickett definitely offers the most as far as being an NFL ready quarterback.
It stinks because I have a deal in place to move up to 12 in this year's rookie draft with someone if he's there, and I don't think he's going to be there now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, at this point, he probably won't be. Even if he doesn't play year one, which I think he has a really good chance of playing year one, he's definitely the consensus QB1 as far as dynasty goes right now because
He was my
you know
QB. I can't say it because I didn't put it, but he was up there. I struggled. I went back and forth.
no,
I ended up,
I mean I believe you. You've been saying it on the pod for a while. Like you love yourself some Kenny Pickett.
yeah,
It was almost a man crush weird thing.
dude. I just loved his film, dude. Like he's the best decision maker, and he throws with anticipation, which he's not going to have a lot of rushing upside. I view him as better than Mac Jones. Um, but that being said, I love Pickett, and I also like Willis, and I think Willis. I'm going to be shocked if Willis falls out of the first round. Now, Peter King seems to think that's a foregone conclusion in his mock this week. I just I struggle. I think he has so much potential.
So here's something for you. Who do you think Kansas City goes with? Do you think they're going to try and rebuild this defense, maybe go like a Jermaine Johnson, or do you think maybe they go out and they grab themselves their first receiver?
George Pickens.
George Pickens? That's actually a really good one. I like that one. Yeah, I think you were the one
Kansas
that
City
talked them
just
out to Julio Jones, right?
Kansas City just traded up with New England.
Yeah. So
Pick is in.
Pick
Yeah,
is in.
I feel like it's got to be Pickens with the way these receivers are flying off the board. They
Mm,
wanted to jump Green Bay, which they just did. So they're obviously going receiver because they just jumped Green Bay.
right.
I think Green Bay. Oh,
I already know my
I
pick for Green Bay.
who is it? I just
It's a wild card, but I think they're going to go Christian Watson and try and take somebody who kind of resembles Devontae Adams physically, but isn't really there like route running. But I think they're going to go with the big target. I think they're going to go with Christian Watson, not Kansas City, Green Bay.
not Justin Ross.
No, I don't think Justin Ross. I wouldn't think that
Round 2 or 3, I think they'll take him actually. But I think this has got to be Pickett. Pickett is a head case, but if there's one dude that can manage that personality, it's Andy Reid.
Yeah, and I mean, winning changes everything for a lot of players. So, you're going to be in Kansas City, you're going to be winning games. So, I think Pickens is a hell of a pick here. I think he's been one of those guys that's really, climbed in value, and rightfully so. Dude, 6'3", he's built like Julio Jones. He looks good on tape.
The Athletics said this morning that they've been hearing late round 2, but I just that. Yeah.
Dude, fingers crossed late round 2. If he falls to the 49ers and they pass on him, I would be so.
Maybe that's where he goes. I mean,
whoa.
Yeah.
We'd be lucky if we got Tolbert.
All right, let's take some bets right now. Who's going to trade up at the end of round 1, you think, to take a quarterback if this happens?
The end of round 1? Man,
Chiefs.
I would have said Carolina, but they don't have a pick until the 4th round, so they don't really have capital.
The Chiefs, right?
A. What's up?
Chiefs?
Yeah.
Get rid of Mahomes.
Get rid of Mahomes. 10 first-round picks. Who was it? Who was the team earlier in the year that actually called about that? Was it Washington? It was Washington.
Trent McDuffie, not Pickens.
Really?
They literally jumped Green Bay to get Trent McDuffie.
Wow. You can see it in every Kansas City Chiefs fucking fan's face. They're like, what? Come on, man. We lost Tyreek Hill and you're getting Trent McDuffie?
Hey, next year I won't be here on Thursday because I'll be at the draft with my son. So.
Hey, where's the draft going to be held next year?
Kansas City.
Oh, yeah. That's what's up. There you go. Hey, maybe you can get press passes.
No, probably not. Unless this thing takes off. It's up to you, Brew Crew. Spread the word.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Hey, 15 subscribers. Thank you for subscribing. And we are happy to be bringing you this content.
Yes.
But
So
yeah.
we're sitting here at pick 21. No running backs. Um, Brees Hall's mocked to the Bills a lot. I mean, let's run through this right now. Who's your so far? Has anything changed for for your rankings? You know,
Um,
the way we head into this.
no,
Brees
not
Hall
really.
still your 101?
What's that?
Is Brees Hall still your 101?
Uh Kenneth Walker was actually my 101, to be honest with you.
He's my
Um,
101. I actually went on with fellow nerd Steven Pintado on his coach's podcast, and I got lit up because I had the Bills in the mock, and they were not a fan of my pick of Kenneth Walker over Brees Hall in the first round here.
well, I mean, for the Bills, it kind of makes sense. Kenneth Walker does kind of fit the mold of what Devin Singletary already does. But
Actually, I think he's more of they didn't like it because I think that he's more of a two down player. I think you're going to see Singletary take over third downs. I think Kenneth Walker is going to replace Zach Moss.
so here's my thing. Everybody says that Kenneth Walker is not a 3-down back because he doesn't have the production out of the backfield as a pass catcher. I think it's because he wasn't given the chance to be a pass
How
catcher.
many pass catching backs have come out of the Big Ten? I mean,
I,
Jonathan Taylor was not a pass catching back, and look what he's been doing.
yeah. Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, like, if you're not giving him the opportunity, of course he's not going to show it on tape. But when he
Yeah.
went to the combine, he was doing it just fine. He looked like a natural catching balls. Um, at the end of the day, and here's the thing: Brees Hall was not that great of a pass blocker. For as
Brees
big as
Hall's the
he is,
most.
he really does not exert the traits of a big physical running back.
I messed up my stats on Twitter last week. So kudos to the person calling me out because I do want to be accurate when I do this. But
Oh, you messed
um,
up your stats?
I did.
What?
So I said that he averages like 3.2 carries per game against top 30 defenses, but I left out the fact that it was four. He averaged 3.2 in 4 of the 5 games against top 30 defenses, but he felt like it was undue um, because I left off a team that was 35th in rushing defense, but that's just the way the stats were. But the fact of the matter is this, and you can't. He's like, you can't take away the fact that against Baylor he had 196 yards. But here's the thing, right? Uh, if you're telling me that in 5 games you win against the best rush defenses in the country, and you average 3 yards per carry, that's telling me that it wasn't just a bad day a couple times. That more often than not, when you faced stiff competition
You weren't
that
good.
stops you, you just couldn't get it done. Like you
Yeah.
couldn't break the tackles. You averaged 3 yards a carry, and that's a concern to me. It really is.
No, I mean, I'm right there with you, man. Like a lot of people I watch game film. He was probably the one guy that was the most excited to watch because I actually played running back in high school. So I love
Oh,
the running back position. So because I love to analyze like all the different things, I love to analyze how they cut, how they fucking go laterally. Everybody's been tearing me apart because I think his lateral speed is garbage. And I've said it multiple times. This guy, he wants to dance around, but he doesn't have the speed to dance around. He can't
yeah,
cut back. He can't do all this type of stuff. When he finds a hole, he is money because he can break away and he's faster on film than he was in that 40, which is something else because he was really fast in the 40.
yeah,
So you know what? For me, that I look at that and I go, if you find somebody who can be in a zone, wow. Hold on one second. Green Bay just selected Quay Walker. Justin, you have no receivers. Your top receivers are Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, Sammy Watkins. Does that sound good to you going into the year?
yeah. Sounds wonderful. Don't
I
forget
know
Robert.
because Alan Lazard's got that
Don't
history
forget
of,
Robert Tunyon. They got Tunyon and Aaron Jones.
oh, yeah, the running back. That's right. The running back.
That's the biggest buy in Dynasty right now
I
is
agree. I
Aaron
agree with that
Jones.
one. And you know what's funny,
The
though?
Bills just traded up for another first round pick. Wait, what?
Huh.
No, maybe that can't be right.
Yeah. They have 23 and 25. Who do
No,
you think they're going with 23?
um, it says the Vikings are on. I have no idea what's going on.
No, it's the Bills.
The
The Bills
Bills are on the
traded up.
clock. Okay, they're on the clock. Gosh, I really hope it's Pickens, but I bet you it's a corner.
You think they're going to go Daxton? No. What if they go? What if they go
McDuffie.
Johnson? What if they get more pass rush?
Well, they
Oh
might need one
man.
after their boy posted videos of unconsensual things, consensual things that were not agreed to be shared publicly or whatever. I don't know if you heard about that. That's awesome. Um, um, gosh, I don't.
Yeah, they might get a corner because didn't they lose? Who was that second corner?
They still have
Wallace,
their.
Levi
They did
Wallace. They
lose
lost him.
Levi. That's
Yeah.
that one hurts. I've been a Levi Wallace fan for a while, but Sean McDermott knows how to coach corners. They don't historically draft corners, but if they go one, I imagine they'll go McDuffie here. Um,
Well, McDuffie already got drafted.
he did. Oh, well,
Yeah.
I'm doing well in my game then. As long as my quarterbacks go.
So here, I either think they go. I think they might go Kyer Elam out of Florida. Big old man corner, kind of like a guy that you can put on the other side of Trey White. Does a lot of the things Trey White does well. You know, as long as he
Yeah,
can keep the guy in front of him, he's pretty good. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I'd go Booth and or Hill because Hill's good. He'll probably end up being more of a safety, but a lot of these guys actually played a lot of nickel, and I said it on other podcasts. I'm not really big in
I
favor of getting specialized guys.
now did Buffalo move up? I think they just moved up. I don't think they're picking twice in the next 3 picks. I was worried for a second they had just traded Jordan Poyer, but I'm curious what this compensation is going to be. Um, did they move ahead of Baltimore to take a running back?
No. Why would they do that?
Because
Baltimore's not
Baltimore's been
interested in
rumored
getting
for
an early
Melvin.
running back. So go ahead. Do you really think that
I
Baltimore's
mean,
going to get somebody with Dobbins there already invested?
I like Dobbins a lot. They were listening. They were talking to Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon and Gus are coming back from ACLs. And what used to be the consensus was 20 years ago, my brother tore his ACL, and you didn't come back from that. Then things shifted, and you started seeing people come back from that. And it feels like we're going backwards. I feel like lately these ACL tears are not doing well for running backs, like at all. So I'm wondering if I don't know. Are they going? I feel like they're going D end.
Yeah. I
No
mean,
running back.
but they got a pick in at 25, so I mean,
I don't think they have a pick at 25. I think they traded it.
no, it still says them at 25. Or oh, you're right. It just got updated.
Somehow Baltimore has it. Did they trade up with Baltimore?
Yeah, I think Baltimore must have had the 23rd, I guess. All
Baltimore's
right.
turning into so they got they swapped and they got a fourth. That's a good trade as long as they get their guy. Whoever they got, they're trying to pass up Dallas and Tennessee. Is Dallas need a pass rusher?
Um, I mean, if you're trying to replace Lawrence sometime soon, I guess. But I mean, also, rumors have been swirling about Dallas needing a running back with Ezekiel Elliott's contract becoming also expendable after this year.
Yeah, I mean I would think it was running back, but I don't think you trade up for a running back.
Yeah, you definitely don't trade up for a running back. And I mean, maybe it is. Maybe it's Kenneth Walker.
That'd be awesome.
Would you jump
I
for
would
joy if it was Kenneth Walker?
only because I feel like I got torn apart in the podcast that I did on Sunday, and I would feel a little bit justified. I'd be lying to you if I didn't been thinking about it all week. I'm like, I hope they take Kenneth Walker. I hope they take Kenneth Walker. I think they might be going interior defensive line though. I forgot. They have Ed Oliver. I
Doesn't
mean,
Ed Oliver have like a little bit of an injury history too?
No, Ed Oliver's good. They're gonna give him an extension soon, but they're getting ready to start Latulele. McDermott loves himself to rotate that D line. I imagine they're going D line or corner here, but they don't historically go corner.
Oh man, did they invite Malik Willis to the draft? Oof, oof.
I wonder if Atlanta trades
Imagine
up for Malik Willis.
Buffalo trades up for Malik Willis with the
Yeah.
23rd pick in the NFL draft. The Buffalo Bills select Malik Willis.
Kahir Elam,
Liberty.
corner.
Hey, who called it? Who motherfucker called it?
That's a good thing because Trey White got injured in November. He tore that ACL, so this is a good pick for them, especially because they've been bringing in guys like Vontae Davis to quit at halftime. This is a good pick for them.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the weirder situations when he quit at halftime.
That was one of the best situations. That was the funniest thing. That was almost the lowest point of being a Bills fan back then, but not really because I've lived through way worse. So
Hey,
I
at
don't know.
least he didn't dance across the field while half naked, like an ass clown. Hey, coach, I'm injured, but I'm gonna freaking do jumping jacks on my way out the door.
Who was Antonio Brown? Yeah, that's
Yep.
awesome.
Oh man.
The Cowboys look like they just lost the lottery based on what I'm seeing. Oh my gosh. So I don't think there's gonna be any running backs. We kind of knew that. Now I feel like a jackass. Sorry for ruining the podcast Sunday, boys. I just think Kenneth Walker's better than Brees Hall.
Which is fair
Baltimore,
enough. I mean, there.
Baltimore, Tennessee, Tampa, Green Bay, New England, Kansas City has another pick. I think Atlanta's going to move up. If I had to guess, I really am just hoping that my quarterback goes in round one.
Time's running out.
Yes, we got 7 minutes left. Let's talk about what are you looking for over the next couple of days? What is something that you went in expecting and now you're like, this kind of changes things for me a little bit?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't really go into expecting too much in this draft. Just looking at the mocks and what we were talking about last week, this draft is completely random. Like at this point, I'm just really interested where a lot of these receivers end up going. I imagine guys like Tolbert, Watson, Dickens. They're all in the back of some of these guys' minds, and a couple of them are going to jump higher than they were predicted in mock drafts just because of all the guys have already gone. I was a little surprised that Jahan Dotson got taken by Washington just because I thought that they could use more of a actually big play threat. I figured Dotson, he's very explosive, but for me, I look at him, he's somebody that I would just stick in the slot most of the time, small frame. I want him going underneath defenders and trying to break away rather than, I don't know, just sticking him on the perimeter. But, for me, I look at, where are these running backs going to land? Whose value is going to go down? I have a bad feeling that somewhere in the third round with the compensation picks that the 49ers got, Elijah Mitchell's value is going to go down. I think they're going to go out and get a running back. They always do. It just depends who's going to be that guy.
Buy an Elijah Mitchell.
Dameon Pierce, get used to that name.
Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker, yep. But yeah, I mean, I think these next couple picks, a lot of them are going to be defensive. Maybe
I think we're going to see some trade. I think we're going to see at least one trade up here.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's crazy how many low-key trades have been made so far. You know what I mean? Like just Detroit getting into the first round. Like
I thought they would come back up, but they went higher up I mean, I thought they were coming back for Willis. Willis must be like the biggest smokescreen in league circles. I don't even know if he gets drafted tonight currently, to be quite honest. I'm kind of tilting here pretty hard with my Debbie pick. Thank God I have Wentz. I'm not too happy. I'm not too happy I gave you Mills at this second.
Hey, you never responded to my my trade offer.
Oh, I can't give you Michael Thomas.
Come on, man.
What was it? It was like Michael Thomas and what else?
Like Michael Thomas and I don't remember. It was somebody from your Devi team or something.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, EJ Smith probably.
yeah, Emmett Smith's son, and then
Yeah,
I'll give you Kelsey. But I
it's not a
understand that.
bad. It's not a bad offer. I am a Michael Thomas fan.
I understand that. You want to die by him. You know, he'll be out of the league in a couple years.
Kind of like Malik Willis, apparently.
I mean, Michael Thomas is starting to look like the Ben Simmons of at the NFL. he's just not showing up, even though he's healthy.
I think now he's probably more motivated to play than he was last year. I don't think he liked Sean Payton very much, to be quite honest.
Oh, so he didn't like winning? Yeah. I mean, I don't really like.
It's not for everyone.
He's gonna roll with the Dennis Allen role, and we're gonna be an all right team, you know.
I will say, if there's one coach that's gonna be one and done out of this coaching class, it's Dennis Allen.
Yeah, unfortunately, I feel for Dennis Allen because he's had so many stints where it's just never gone well.
I do not feel that sorry for him. I'm a mean person. You can only have so many years of watching Norv Turner screw up a team to feel like people deserve two chances and they're out. Like, I'm okay giving a guy a second chance, but I just think he's terrible.
That's fair enough. I mean, not
Tyler
really.
Smith, Cowboys go tackle Tyler Smith. So last thing we'll talk about, Zeke. Is he a buy for you?
Depends on the price.
A 23-1.
A 23-1? Is it
I know
coming
those
from
are
a
worth-
bad
I
team
know-
or is it coming for a good team?
I don't know. It's a 23-1. Those are like crack nowadays. Apparently everyone.
I would trade Zeke for a 23-1.
You would trade your 23-1 and acquire Zeke?
No, I would do the opposite. I would trade Zeke for the 2023-1.
So you're like the public. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't think I would trade my 20. I feel like we're approaching the territory, as I've written on my Twitter lately about. We're like approaching the territory where a 2023-1 is like, how do I say this delicately as a Catholic? It's almost as though you have found Santa Claus, we'll say.
Well, it's like a 2021 one. Like, remember that class was so loaded? Like, everybody was just giddy about it. Everybody was excited about all the quarterbacks.
I feel like it's gotten more hype than the 2021 class.
Yeah, it could have, yeah. I mean, I'm over here sitting excited that my Devi team has the two fucking top quarterbacks from that class.
You got that, and then you also have, don't you have someone else too?
I mean, I got Flemings, but I don't think he's going to be too much. I got two Ohio State guys. Whoever the Ohio State running back is next year, I've got him.
You got Zach Wilson. What about Deshaun Watson for Zach Wilson and Travis Kelce?
Maybe we can talk after Watson's suspension.
I actually don't think he's getting suspended, personally.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap this up, guys. It was a great draft show. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of the draft, day 1 and day 2, and